Welcome back in, flag throwers. Today we have a very, and some might say all-star guest. He is a former MLB All-Star, Silver Slugger winner, defensive guru, Team USA national coach, and the father of current MLB All-Star Jacob Wilson. It's 12-year MLB veteran Jack Wilson. Jack, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks. That was a cool intro. I mean, I usually just go by Jacob's dad now, so all that other stuff was great.
No, we got to give you your props too.
Yeah, absolutely. You weren't no slouch back in your days.
Thank you. No, it's good to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, we're very appreciative of your time, and thank you so much for coming on. So we'll start with a nice, easy, little icebreaker. So you, as a 12-year MLB veteran, where did your love of baseball originate from?
Oh, you guys definitely started off a hot one. I actually didn't even like baseball.
Wow.
See, there you go, Jordan.
All right, here's your first flag. Baseball is boring. Straight up.
What the hell? What on earth?
Listen, I can play it. I love to play it. Passion, love the competition, love the game. I can coach it because it's the same thing. Watching it, no, it is so slow and just like that. So I blame Jacob for making me watch Major League Baseball now because it's so different than when I played because the strikeouts and it's just a different type of game than it was for such a long period of time that it just became something I really didn't enjoy watching because I'm trying to teach young players how to have a two-strike approach and how to do things fundamentally and play the game the right way and respectful of other teammates and other teams and other umpires, and then you can just see just bat flips and staring down guys and all this stuff that I'm trying to fight against with this younger generation that I coach. So, so it's tough for me to be like, oh, MLB is awesome, So, but I was a soccer player growing up. That was my main sport. That was my main love. I just played baseball when there wasn't a soccer tournament. It was the only really a sport that was year-round in California. Probably when I was 14 or 15, baseball started to play in the winter. They're like, hey, we have good weather. We should probably play baseball in the winter too. And so that's when I kind of started doing that. But even then, if it came to, a club or travel baseball tournament versus a travel soccer tournament, I would go to the soccer tournament every time. So, I decided to do baseball when I graduated high school. That's when I said, all right, I'll try baseball. So I played baseball in high school and it was great, but it still wasn't anything like my soccer season and my passion for soccer, but I just kind of said, okay, baseball's, it's there. I'm decent at it. Maybe I'll give it a shot. So that's kind of how it happened. Sad, but it is what it is. I love it though. I have a passion for it. I switched passion, but I still watch. I watched Arsenal versus Chelsea this morning. So I still watch English Premier League soccer. Obviously the World Cup is coming. That's the United States. That's a big deal for us.
Right.
With those games. So yeah, that's how it all started.
Wow, I'm actually pretty stunned. That was not the answer I was looking for. I thought you were going to be like,
you thought you were teeing up an easy one for the first one.
Yes.
This podcast has started perfectly on set for flag. Perfect.
Controlled chaos. I absolutely love it. But in your controlled chaos answer, it actually leads right into Luke's question. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, so you mentioned, growing up playing baseball, but soccer was kind of your main love, from a young age. But at what age, if you can pinpoint it, or what point did you realize that your baseball career could actually go into something, professional, extremely successful career like you ended up having?
I never really thought of it that way. My thing was that anything I played, soccer or whatever, baseball, it was, all right, if you're going to do it, put everything you have into it. And wherever it takes you is where you're going to go. So I never had aspirations of playing professional baseball. I never had aspirations of playing in the major leagues. I just said I'm pretty athletic and I want to see how good I can get at this. So for my entire life until I was 18, I wanted to see how good I could get at soccer. And it wasn't going to be good enough to play on a national team or go over to Europe or do anything like that. So I was like, all right, when I switched over to baseball, it's like, all right, let's see how good I can get. And really that was always the focus. It was getting better every day, beating myself out from the day before was the focus. And like people say, when do you know you can be a big leaguer? I was like, the day they told me I made the team, really, because it was never a thought. The goal was always get as good as you possibly can get. That was always the goal. It never had some sort of level to it or money involved. It was just like, all right, I'm 21 years old. I'm going to just go. I'm just going to do everything I can, work harder than everybody else, and just try to be as good as I could possibly get, learn as much as I possibly can, get smart, but just be relentless on trying to be great at something. And wherever that was going to take me, I was going to be okay with that at the end of the day, because that's the only thing I can control is how hard I work to get to that point. So, because in the end of it, no one can tell you you're a big leaguer. The only guy who gets to decide that is a GM. He decides you're going to go A-ball, you're going to go AA. So there's nothing you can really do. All you do is go out, try to do your job as best as possible, play the game, have fun, and see what happens. See how far you can go. So that's really simple way of looking at it. And that also, too, is never had to worry about who was in front of me or what prospect was this. It never mattered because it had nothing to do with me. That's not going to deter how I work today. So pretty simple stuff where it's just just going to focus on trying to be really great at something.
Your story sounds very similar to Tim Anderson's story. He was really good 5 to 7 years ago. So he always wanted to be a basketball player, but happened to be really good at baseball. He wasn't good enough to play college basketball. He played college baseball, and then it's the same thing you said about he just wanted to be the best player he could be, and that's how he got to the majors. And then Jose Ramirez punched the rings out of him. That's a Sonic reference. And now he's still trying to – I think he's on the Angels now, if I remember correctly. But that's what your story reminded me of, was his story.
Yeah, you just dropped Sonic the Hedgehog. You just threw me back to the freaking Sega Genesis days with 3 buttons, A, B, and C. That's before your guys' time, though. But Sonic,
you're right, but I still played it.
You still play the original, the 3 buttons with Sega Genesis?
Yes.
Good system. I like Sega. It was the new Nintendo. It was pre-PlayStation. That was a legit console. I enjoyed Sega.
So before Jordan gets into his question, I actually have a pretty cool story since we're on the topic of video games. So I'm actively on our YouTube channel, live streaming, playing my favorite baseball game ever. It's from 2009. And you're actually in that game, and I've played as you before, so I thought that was really cool.
Which is it? It's not Biggs, is it?
No, it's MLB 2K9. It's got Tim Lincecum on the cover.
Lincecum on the cover, yeah. I like those were the simpler games. The MLB kind of just a lot of stuff going on, but there was always a little gold little glove next to my guy. I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
I was hitting last, and I had no juice. So I was like, come on.
Well, there should be a little silver bat next to your name because you won a silver slugger, but that's neither here nor there.
Maybe the baseball game in 2005 was all right, hey, let's give this guy some love. But that was funny. Me and Jacob used to play those games. I used to get all the games I was in, and we play baseball games together. So those were the cool days. And he'd always trade me. I was like, come on, bro. So he was trade me to another team, and then I'd be the 9th hitter for the Yankees or something. I was like, man, the Buccos? I'm like, what are we doing?
I mean, depending on the year, that might not have been a bad team to be a part of, but.
But he was also trying to trade me straight up for Derek Jeter. I'm like, this is a flawed system. You can just trade anybody for anybody without anything, but those games were fun. That was a lot of our time that we spent together, on and off the field, when we really started to get into video games and stuff. We used to do that a lot, so we have a rich history with video games in the household.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, because I've played as your son as well, in the more recent MLB The Show games, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's got to be surreal for him to be in the game.
Yeah, I don't know if because he doesn't, he stopped playing. He's big on Fortnite. He's really good at Fortnite, so he gets on and plays with all the other MLB guys that play Fortnite. So randomly he's on with Zach Neto and the Jung brothers. They're always on.
Nice.
So that's his go-to now. He doesn't play too many sports games other than Rocket League. He likes Rocket League. But,
dude, imagine getting squad wiped by Jacob Wilson, Zach Neto, and the Jung boys.
Apparently they're all pretty darn good. That's why they they get together in a squad and they just have all these alias names that you have no idea that you're just getting bounced.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Jordan. Go ahead with your question.
No, you're good. You're good. Jack, just want to say thank you for coming on. I really appreciate the time once again. We're going to take you back with this one. This first question I got is a little multifaceted. So, knowing you're from Westlake Village in Cali, did you grow up in Westlake as well? And how was the community you grew up with? And lastly, how did it influence your upbringing?
Yeah, so Westlake and Thousand Oaks were right next to each other. So the hospital was in Westlake Village, but I ended up growing up in Thousand Oaks, which is the city over. It's a great place to live. Real safe town. Like Westlake was kind of more richy. They had the big bucks. Thousand Oaks was kind of in the middle, but it's a beautiful part of California. Like there's a bad part of California, but it was a great place to grow up. I mean, because you got to in Southern California, the weather you have allows you. If you love sports, man, you're in it 12 months a year. You're playing something.
Yep.
I had parents that were awesome to let me try everything: basketball, soccer, baseball, obviously, but just got to do a lot of fun things and play year round. There was always a season. Like your season would end like the next day. Like you'd have a start to a different season, and that's your childhood right there. Like that's just I was blessed to have my parents work hard and give us, me and my brother, the opportunity to play sports year round and whatever we love to do. And that was the best. And that was a beautiful town. I love going back. I'm in Arizona now, but I love going back, for Christmas and stuff. I actually coached 5 years in high school at my alma mater where I went, where my parents went. Cosmos High School, where Kurt Russell went, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this. Kurt Russell was a dude baseball player as well. Like he has some records at our high school for hitting. Like he was a pretty good baseball player. So, but yeah, and then Jacob ended up going through there. So it's pretty cool to be able to go back and do alumni game with Jacob and stuff like that.
Wow,
that's cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. And then I guess going into the next question, it kind of piggybacks off that. Going from kind of like growing up there to you were at Oxnard College. Yeah. So how was your time there? How was that the choice? And like, was there any recruitment involved?
Yeah, so it was a really easy choice because when you get a 2.0 on the nose, you don't really have a lot of opportunities to go to
Fair.
You really do the exact minimum of classwork to get just eligible for high school sports. There's really not a lot after that to have options, and then they tell you need to get this much in the SAT, and you're like, I don't need to take that. Yeah, Oxnard, the coach would come because there was a Moorpark College was only like 15 minutes away, and Oxnard College was 45 minutes away. And that Oxnard College coach, Pat Woods, would literally just show up to my house randomly, and my brother actually went there before me, so there was a connection there. But he would continuously like chase me down and get me to not go to Moorpark, which is the best thing that ever happened to me because he put me on a path that he expected me to do really well. He saw something in me back then, so he kept me to a certain accountability, I guess you could say, on and off the field. And so he's been a huge mentor of mine, so that was the best decision I ever made. Oxnard's a great part of the country. It's right there off of PCH, just down the street from Malibu. So, but they're known for their like softball-sized strawberries. Like
really,
it's like the number one in Oxnard. Santa Barbara, it's like the best farming in the United States because the soil you can pretty much grow anything you want there. It's like some crazy soil with the weather. So, but they're known for the Oxnard Strawberry Festival where you have like softball-sized strawberries.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, this is legit. Wow. So, really cool place to go and play, and had a lot of good friends and a lot of good teammates for those 2 years. I was gonna go to Texas Tech, but then I got drafted. And when I got drafted, I'm like, I still don't like. So I'm just gonna sign. You don't need to talk about money. Just put me on a plane. Let me go play somewhere.
Yep.
So that actually leads right into the next question, and now I don't know how this answer is going to go, but tell us about your draft day experience, like when you got the call that you were being drafted by the Cardinals.
Yeah, this is actually funny. So couldn't follow it. There's no internet at the time. There was like the WW, like Wide World Web, and you can go on certain websites, but there was no way to follow the draft. I was actually in summer school because I needed more credits to go to Texas Tech, and I took the day off. I took the day off of the class to sit at home to be by the phone, and I got basically it's the most frustrating day ever. You have no idea where they're at in the draft. You know what time it started, but you have no idea where it's at. And then different teams are calling randomly to say, hey, how much will you sign for? How late will you go for? Stuff like that. And, the common answer is, the right money for the right round, which basically says if it's this round and it's this much, then I'm good. Like
you want a slot deal pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and even before there was a slot, you didn't even know. Like you could just go off of last year's 8th or 9th round pick, whatever they signed for, and stuff. So there wasn't a lot of information. So when they called and they're like, I actually got a call from the Yankees saying that they were in the 15th round. How late will I go? And I got really bummed. I got really sad. So I'm like, gosh, they're already in the 15th. Like, that's tough. And then, like, 5 minutes later, the Cardinals called and said they picked me in the 9th. I'm like, you lying Yankee sons of guns. Like, I'm already cheap. You don't need to give me that cheap. Like, they totally lied on the phone. The scout completely lied to me, said, like, oh, we're already in the 15th round. I'm like, and then, so I was super sad, and the Cardinals called me, and I'm thinking I got me in the 15th or the 16th. Like, we got you in the 9th. I'm like, whoa, that sounds amazing. Like, that's great. Awesome. So, no negotiation whatsoever. It's just like, all right, well, how much do you want to give me? That sounds amazing. Where do I sign? The next day, I was on a plane. Like, it was that. Yeah, I signed the next morning, and it was on a flight to Jupiter, Florida that night. Awesome.
How was that turnaround?
What's that?
How was that turnaround?
It was great because, like, our season was over. So it was just like, there was no games to play. I was in summer school, so that sucked. You know, so I'm like,
probably just happy.
You were ready to go
like,
there. Yeah,
I don't just. You're telling me tomorrow, like in 2 days from now, I can be on the field with a bat in my hand, like getting ready to prepare for a short season, rookie ball season in Tennessee? Like, yes, please. I just want to play baseball again. This is great. Like, you know, you guys know I wasn't watching it, so like, let's go play. So it was it was fast. Like, all right, they tried to give me like money for college. They were like, we're gonna give you $30,000 and then $10,000 to finish a degree. I'm like, yeah, no. Take that 10,000, add it to the 30. Don't worry about the degree. We'll be fine. And so got a $40,000 signing bonus, and I thought I was the richest person in the world. It was great.
Oh man. So kind of that leads into my next question. When you got called up to the big leagues, what was that kind of story? What's your called up to the big league story like?
It was actually weird because I made it out of spring. And I had only played Double A, so I already had my place set up. Julie and I had our place set up in Nashville, Tennessee. That was Triple A for the Pirates because I just got traded over from the Cardinals, and I was in spring training, and I figured, all right, I'm gonna get my feet wet at this level. I'd never been to a big league camp before, and all right, I'll play. I think I played a little bit second, a little bit short, and then swung it pretty good. But I was just trying to get ready for my season in Triple A the whole time. And like, this is great. This is cool. Y'all got cool crap. Everybody treats you really nice. Got really nice bats. Everything's great. Hitting big league balls that go way further than minor league balls. So life is good, but like I'm ready to go to AAA and ready to start my season. And then like the second to last day, they called me in and said, "You're coming with us to Cincinnati." I was like, really? I was like, all right, that sounds good. All right. And I literally called everybody I could in a 10-minute span, and nobody picked up. It was awful.
Oh,
It was awful. I couldn't get anybody to pick up, and I wasn't leaving a message. And then eventually, like an hour later, everybody started calling back. But I was like, man, they're like, that's pretty cool. Like, apparently, like we're doing this. We're just gonna go play in Cincinnati against Barry Larkin and Ken Griffey Jr. Like, it's no problem. We'll just jump right into that one. So, but yeah, it was. It was just a weird feeling because it was something that was complete. And it wasn't like I was, Jacob's situation. He's hitting 400. Between AA and AAA, you kind of saw it possibly coming. It was a possibility, but it wasn't like I was killing it in spring training. I think I was just kind of the best guy for the job. Pat Mears kind of was the older shortstop that moved over to second, so it was just like, but I never really thought of it that way. I still was thinking about doing what I could to get ready for the season in AAA because that's where I figured I was going. But it was awesome. It was cool. I was like, all right, I'll go get dominated for 3 weeks, and they sent me to AAA anyway, so it all ended up working out.
So in that 3-week span, do you have a story of your first MLB hit? Who was it against? Background on that.
It's funny. I don't even remember. I think it was Oswaldo Fernandez was his name. I think he was the pitcher. I was hitting 8th, and pitchers were hitting 9th at the time. So that's a completely different thing to have to deal with when there's a hit. When there's a pitcher behind you, understanding when they're going to come after you, when they're going to pitch around you to let the pitcher hit. When there's like 2 outs, they want to get you out so the pitcher can lead off the next inning. If they're 1 out, they'll pitch kind of around you. But that's something you had to learn. That I never hit. I was either hitting first, second, or third in the minor leagues. I never hit anything past that. So to jump in, I think my first bat I struck out on, and they threw 5 straight sliders. And I was like, wow. I have no idea. Like, I am 175 pounds. This is my first at bat, and you're worried about me. But there was 2 guys on, and there was two outs, so they weren't going to give me anything to hit. Now, as time went by, and I realized, okay, I could have sat slider the whole time because I would have understood what it meant to hit in front of what the situation was. But I'm not going to know that going up there. So, like, I kept swinging. I'm like, man, this guy's throwing me sliders. And then he threw me first pitch slider next to bat. He hit a double down the line. Barry Larkin came over and said congrats on the first hit. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
But then just got absolutely annihilated and dominated the rest of 3 weeks. I think I was hitting 180 with like 8 errors in like 3 weeks. It was a good run of terribleness. And then they sent me to AAA. And the funny thing is, I had just bought a used Mustang. So I bought my first paycheck. I bought my wife like a little Explorer. She was working jobs all through the minor leagues while I was playing, so I wanted to like show her appreciation for like sticking through the tough times, the old grinding through the minors. And she made more money than I did. She would be working all different types of jobs. And so I got her the car, and then I wanted this, like, I always wanted a Mustang, and they had a used one for like $5,000. I'm like, let's get it. Like, so with two cars, I'll get this little $5,000 used Mustang with like 50,000 miles, and I'll be happy. And I literally bought it that day, and I got sent down that night after they came. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. But I was like, they said you got 3 days to report to Nashville. So get your stuff ready, and you got 3 days to get there, and just let us know if you need flights or whatever, and we'll take care of it. I'm like, okay. But me being me, like I couldn't not do something about not being good. Like this is the first time where I'm like, I'm not good at baseball. This really sucks. But for me, I was a worker. I loved to work it out. I was a guy that was like, okay, let me get in the cage and swing 200 times in a row and figure it out. That was me. So that night. I got back to the apartment. I told Julie, fly your parents out. Pack this place up, and you guys come to Nashville. I'm going to drive tonight. So I drove the 12 hours that night after I got sent down through all the way to Nashville, Tennessee. I had to stop off and sleep a little bit at a truck stop. But I was just like, it was a good way to clear my head. And then I showed up the next day ready for batting practice, and the manager was like, what are you doing here? I'm like, yeah, I had nothing else to do. I'm like, you want me to catch a Pirates game? I'm like, seriously, I gotta do something. Can I play tonight? He's like, you're not even on our roster yet. I'm like, can you put me on the roster? He's like, we can do it for tomorrow. I'm like, okay, but can I hit BP today? He's like, fine. I was like, okay. And then I went to the hotel, knocked out, came back for BP. But that was me. Like I couldn't handle sitting on like not being good, like being terrible. And I'm like, I'd rather just get back into playing and enjoying it. So got to go down to AAA for a month. Got back on track, and then they brought me back, so it was all good. But enjoyed Nashville, though. It was a really cool town.
Okay.
Yeah, so you spent a lot of years with the Pirates. I remember you when I was a young kid on those 2000s teams. Did you have a favorite teammate from those teams with the Pirates? I know I had my guy was Jason Bay back then, along with you. Who was your favorite teammate?
We had so many good ones. Like we did not win baseball games, but those guys were awesome to come to the field with every day. Like they were good human beings. Like but people say like, oh, the Pirates, you guys suck. You guys lost for this many years, and people are not understanding that the NL Central in the 2000s was by far the best division in baseball. Like nobody could touch the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Brewers were upcoming. When they had Braun and Prince Fielder, and those guys were coming through. You had Cincinnati that was becoming good. They had Volquez and the other pitcher they got in the Hamilton trade that I keep forgetting his name. But like that whole division was nasty. Like, and it was like we can't even like talent straight up roster. We can't hang with these dudes. I mean, the Cardinals ran the show, and the Cubs were right there, and you're like. You still got the Astros, by the way, because the Astros were in the Central at that time too, and you're
16
you're running with the killer bees. I'm like, even if we were good enough, that division was going to be impossible to like compete in. They were just so much better than us. So, but they were good dudes, man. Coming to the yard, everybody was like trying to like make their way. Everybody had each other's backs. We just weren't good enough to compete with those types of teams. But obviously, Freddie, I played travel ball with Freddie Sanchez when we were in high school.
He was a good player, man.
Yeah, he was the shortstop, and I was the second baseman on those teams. And then when we got to the big leagues, they kind of flip-flopped. But that was really cool to be able to play with him. Jay Bay was amazing. Xavier and AD I loved. Adam LaRoche and Andy LaRoche were two of my favorites. Two brothers playing on the corner of the infield. Like, that's got to be the coolest thing. Love Jason Kendall. Pat Mears was big for me. problem is we had so much turnover. I probably have over 500 teammates in the 9 years I was there. So I know I have 28 different double play partners. Jose Bautista was one of those two. I love Jose.
Joey Bats.
Joey Bats, former Pirate.
Yeah, we turned a double play. He played second base one day when they were kind of tooling around and seeing what they were going to do with him. He was mostly a third baseman, and then put him in the outfield, and then we traded him, and then he started hitting 70 homers a year. So that was fun to watch.
Yeah, and then that bastard broke my heart in 2016. Whatever.
Yeah. You know, I feel like I was so, he was on the verge of shutting it down. Like he just it wasn't working out for him. And something to be said about a team that trades for you and believes in you and tells you, hey, we think you're going to be great. Let's just make some tweaks. Yeah. He was always a guy that tried to shoot it the other way. And they basically, Toronto said, get on top of the dish and try to hit everything out of the stadium. He's like, all right, let me try that. And then it worked. So that was cool. So I love to see that kind of where he was at and like the lowest of the low, not being able to play on a Pirates team that wasn't very, that couldn't compete, and then to turn around and do what he did in Toronto, which was really fun to see. So, but a lot of great teammates. So you got PNC Park, Luke, in your background. Is that PNC?
Oh yeah. As I'm currently sitting right now, I'm like three miles away from downtown, so living the dream.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm a diehard Orioles fan, so I remember Joey Bats very well, unfortunately. I remember a lot of
swinging the drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those.
Oh my God.
Well, your O's just got a really good friend of mine, Blaze Anderson. Blaze. Blaze just got traded.
Blaze Alexander. Yeah.
Blaze Alexander. I don't even want to say that. But yeah, we trained together all off season, and that's kind of like my job now. I do a lot of stuff with our agents infield and stuff like that. So CJ's brother and then Blaze were with us. So we were actually working out the day he got traded. And then, but he's going to be really good for you guys. He's solid.
I've been watching all the spring training games, and yeah, I'm very excited to see what he brings to the table for us.
Yeah, he's a freak. He's really good. He's only 25 too. I mean, he could probably throw 99 to 100 miles an hour on the clock, by the way. He's got an absolute bazooka.
Wow.
He's very strong.
So he's going to be our position pitcher. Got it.
Yeah. If you make him a position player, you might going to make him a pitcher because he's going to throw harder than most of the guys you have on your team because he's got an absolute cannon. Him throwing the ball across the diamond is pretty special. And he's just a great kid too, so I'm really happy for him. Although my guy Jackson breaking his handmate, that's
yeah. I was about to bring that up. Yeah.
Cool.
And then Westy tore his UCL, so that kind of sucks.
Well, it's a good thing you guys made the trade.
Allegedly, we made that trade before the injuries.
Yeah, that's what we kind of figured. We kind of figured, like, wait a second, you don't announce that Jackson broke his handmate till after you got Blaze, so you probably knew something was up beforehand.
Yeah.
You didn't want to tell anybody,
right?
Because then they would thought you were desperate and you could get more from them. Yeah, they're smart.
Yeah, and we didn't really give that much to get him too, which was crazy.
Yeah.
But that kind of leads me into my next question. So, can you go ahead and let's see, where were we at? Oh yeah, duh. What was your moment when you found out that you were going to be an all-star?
See, it's so cool now. Like it's televised and all this other stuff, and it was just like even then, I got brought into the office before a day game at home, and the manager was just like, "You made the all-star team. Congrats, that's awesome. Make sure you're back for practice afterwards before the second half starts." It was just like, yeah, great, but make sure you're back. And you're like, so you didn't. And then I played a game. Like I played a game directly after. So I'm on this like cloud 9. I'm like floating around the field because I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. I actually hit a home run on my first at bat. I hit a home run on my first at bat, and I was like, this is awesome. This just works. Like this is really cool. But yeah, it was kind of one of those things you kind of figured, I think I was hitting 333 at the break, so it was like, all right, I'm not going to get any votes because we're just not very popular in Pittsburgh at this time, but I ended up winning the player vote, and that's how I got it. So, like,
wow.
The players
Heck yeah.
vote anyways, which I thought was pretty, to have your peers vote you in is pretty special.
I feel like that means a lot more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So being in that clubhouse and being that whole 3 days was just an absolute, it was like, I was on Red Bull for like 3 hours because you're just so excited to be there and you're looking around like all these future Hall of Famers. Pujols is in the locker next to me. You're like, oh
wow,
like
the big red machine.
I see him trotting around the bases every time he'd come to Pittsburgh anyway, so it's like oh, it's Albert. Like, I see you freaking around the
What up,
bases.
Al?
I have to take us deep every time. By the way, I think he has the best numbers ever at PNC Park as like visiting player. Like,
I think he does too. Yeah.
Like, and I just got to have my neck snap for all of it, for all 10 years of him doing that.
Well, some would argue that he had the greatest prime of all time. Obviously, when he went to the Angels, it was kind of a little bit of a fall off. But those St. Louis Cardinals years, absolutely absurd. But I have another question.
Nothing you can do.
Yeah,
Nothing you can do.
I have another question that might be a more fonder memory than some of these other ones that you've had. So, when Jacob was a kid, he threw out a first pitch to you, and then you got to throw out a first pitch to him. How surreal was that both times?
I think it was pretty awesome. The first time it was my bobblehead night, and it was supposed to be somebody from the Outback Steakhouse. And I basically asked the Pirates, I'm like, hey, do you think Jacob could do it? And they had to ask the Outback Steakhouse guy. And he was bummed because he wasn't going to be able to do it, but we hooked him up. We gave him a bunch of autograph stuff, and I got him a team bat and everything. Because I felt bad, but I'm like, it's a bobblehead day at home. I'm like, this will be pretty cool for my kid to throw a first pitch. And he was really cool about it. He's like, absolutely, but we kind of, we took care of him. And then when we saw the schedule last year that he was going to play in Pittsburgh, we had that circle for the entire, but since the schedule came out, this is going to be special because all of our family is going to go because this is just a big family moment for us. And how many times I played there, how many games he used to watch in the stands, and then the Pirates actually came to me with that idea about doing that. I'm like, that would be pretty darn special. So it was a really cool moment. I didn't know how they were going to do it. When they were announcing me I was going on the mound, they had started playing this video board of stuff that I did, and I was so in La La Land, I wouldn't even know what was going on. And then I finally looked up because they kept talking, and I was like, why do they keep talking? We're just supposed to throw this first pitch, but it was the video that was playing. So then they started playing the video and showed Jacob throwing the first pitch, and then I was trying to hold it together. But then I'm holding this ball, and I'm shaking because I'm trying to keep my tears from going, and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta throw this ball. Yeah. I'm so nervous to throw this ball. I'm like, hey, I can't bounce it. He's got to play today. And then being I'm just aim high, bro. And so I just, but it was the hardest ball to throw. My hands were all sweaty. I was pretty nervous for that one. But it was a really cool moment, special moment, and especially nowadays with social media and everything, all these, it's so documented. They can just pull it up on my phone at any time and watch that sequence happen, and it's pretty special for us to go through that together.
Heck yeah. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, so your son Jacob went a ridiculous amount of time last season without getting into a 3-ball count. Yes. What are your thoughts on that? Is that something that you kind of taught him, to swing early, or is that more on his side and his coaches with the A's? What does that kind of look like?
Well, when they announce his name, it says now batting. It's time to hit. What are we waiting for?
There you go.
You're at the plate to hit, to do damage, to be offensive. And you walk when the guy decides not to throw you strikes. The difference with Jacob is that his hand-eye coordination is so good. He usually, when he swings, he hits it. It's different because most of the time, when people are swinging, it's a 30 to 40% chance they're going to swing and miss. And he just doesn't tend to do that a lot because he stays short with the ball, he stays inside. So it's just the fact that he actually just puts it in play. So for him, it's just he's always ready to hit. And every hitter is always ready to hit, but it's usually, too, it's okay, the more dangerous guys are going to pitch differently, and you're going to get more 3-ball counts because they don't want to throw anything over the plate. And, his mantra is, okay, he's not going to hit. If he's not going to hit for power, why are we worried about messing around with him? Let's just go after him. So much to the point right now that the key to getting him out is throwing it down the middle and just having him hit it at somebody because it'll save you pitches because he's going to put it in play. So it's that's a lot of these teams are let's just don't mess with him. Just throw the ball or else he's going to foul off 9 pitches and then he's going to, so it's, for him, he's just ready to hit. And he'll take a walk, but they got to be balls, but he's able to hit from line to line. He was taught a long time how to hit, since he was little, how to hit the ball the other way, how to stay inside the ball. So for him, it's just the fact that when he swings it, he usually puts it in play. So that's why he doesn't get to more 3-ball counts. But, and honestly, and that was so funny, it's just, that's the way it used to be. You went up, you put the ball in play.
It's a lost art now.
Yeah. But anyway, and it's just because the the art has turned into these home runs, because when they change the balls to the Pro V1s that they have underneath that leather now, they go so freaking far. Then that's what prompted everybody to start swinging for the fences, because they go 50, 60 feet farther than the balls that when I played. It's not even close. They're super close. They're unbelievable how far they go. I knew this because when I coached in high school, so Max Muncy, Jacob's teammate in high school, who's also his teammate with the A's, the scouts used to come out, and I used to bring out balls. This would have been from the COVID year. Pirates sent me a bunch of balls, and I would throw them batting practice at lunchtime for the scouts to come watch them hit. And they'd be getting jammed, hitting the ball over the center field hitter's eye. And like high school ball, they might be able to get over the hitter's eye, but they were getting jammed putting them over the hitter's eye with bats. And I was like, wow, these things are like super balls. And they are really far. So when they changed the ball went farther, and the swings got bigger. Because they're saying, well, let's just try all hit home runs because the balls go crazy far now. You guys remember Petco Field, Petco Park in San Diego, your righties would have, they'd get their best ball, put it 5-6 rows deep. Down,
right, yeah.
Not down the line, it's regular left field. Now you got lefties going oppo, off the end of the bat. I saw Tatis hit a ball, got jammed, and went in the second row. And it's the balls. The balls are crazy. So that's what changed the game. It's like, well, if these balls are going to go this far, why don't we just swing for it every time? Yeah. And then that's where that shift came. If they were to go back to the old ball, it'd be a lot different. And the ball has gone back a little bit. They're pulling it back a little bit. And it's also interesting how when they changed the ball, also everybody started throwing 100. There's something that has to do with that too. Why is now they changed the ball to go farther, but at the same time now everybody throws harder instantly. Mm-hmm. I think Alex
It
Cobb,
really did happen overnight, it felt like.
Because Alex Cobb, I think I faced him with the Devil Rays, I think. Actually, it was just the Rays, not the Devil Rays. I did play against the Devil Rays, though. But Alex Cobb was 91, 92, and I think he just retired a couple years ago. He was sitting 94, 96. I'm wait a second. You're 12 years older than you were in your prime, and you throw 3 or 4 miles an hour faster now?
Yeah, faster.
I don't care what analysts, I don't care what they can break down this or that. I'm I'm sorry. This ball.
It's the baseball, yeah.
What they have to do it, make it do what it does, but it works. Because now everybody throws 100, and everybody hits balls that don't come down. It's a different game. But it had a lot to do with it.
Okay.
I believe that's my freaking flag on the ball.
I agree with you. He's throwing the flag.
The balls are juiced, confirmed.
Freaking juiced. They're great. Good for them. Man, I wish I could hit those.
So speaking of hitting a bunch of home runs, or maybe lack thereof, for my next question, who was a pitcher that you saw very well and dominated, but on the other hand, who was a pitcher that dominated you very well and you seemed to maybe not do so well against?
It sucks too, because I really like him, but Glennon Rush from the Brewers. So my dad was left-handed, so my whole life BP was left-handed, and so I always saw left-handers really well. And then Glennon Rush with the Brewers faced him a bunch for some reason. Just I would swing, and it would just fall every time. I just get hits on hits on hits on him, and so I think I probably have the highest career average against him. If it was one division. But there was guys there was a guy named Matt Clement, pitcher for the Cubs.
I remember him, yeah.
Guy, and he just spun me like crazy. He just kept doing it. He'd throw 13 in a row. At some point, and every time I was thinking, this has got to be the time he throws the fastball. Nope. He just owned me. Pedro was older Pedro, so he threw a lot more spin because he didn't have 95, 96 they could do that day. He was nasty. Randy was always tough. What are they gonna do with Randy?
I feel like of any pitcher, that dude just seems like the most nasty pitcher of all time.
The 2-pitch mix too. It's just it's just you had to. People don't understand that he's a very underrated pitcher as far as how he could spot a fastball. He wasn't just a guy that threw hard. He knew where it was going. He knew to throw that backdoor slider exactly in the same spot. He overpowered guys. Yeah, he probably had some pitches up in the zone he overpowered guys, but my first few at bats at him was boom, and on the black at the knee, strike one. You're what? It wasn't he was just gonna he knew how to pitch. He just got, he threw so hard and he had that big slide, the slider that was so sharp. But he knew how to pitch, man. He knew how to throw his stuff. So he was always fun to face because it was so big, it was so long out in front of you. But he was tough. I did take him deep though. He did hang a slider one time, and I got him at PNC Park. So
One time.
There you go.
throw that in there, because he just struck me out the time. But I did get him that one time, so that's like my claim to fame. I did hit it home run.
We'll create a highlight reel for you, and I'll make sure that one's in there.
Oh yeah,
but
we gotta get that one on there.
don't like hashtag Randy Johnson or like make him
Make him see it. I would love for Randy Johnson to see it.
He's like, yeah, you know what? Squirrel finds in that. It was actually funny because he went. Jason Bay, I think, hit a home run like 2 batters later, and he threw a complete game, 3-hitter. I was 2 for 3. Jason Bay hit the 1 home run, and he lost 2-1. That was
Wow.
it.
Wow.
There we go.
He threw a complete game, but that was him. Like he was so dominant. Like you had to get. Not only did you have to get lucky against him, you had to be lucky enough to keep their guys from scoring. Because when he was on the mound, like it's a really tough game.
Oh yeah. I've seen interviews of Randy before. He seems like such a cool guy, but like the fact that like if Randy Johnson saw a video that I created, my life would be like complete. Like that would be so sick.
Never know. Maybe he follows you guys. You have no idea. I
highly doubt it, but
you could be playing Fortnite against Zach Neto, and you wouldn't even know.
Hey, maybe Randy has a burner. We don't know. He might be like Kevin Durant. We don't know. But that kind of leads into my next question. So you mentioned something about how you like coach for like the USA national team. What do you think about Team USA for the World Baseball Classic? Because I have a piggyback question after your answer to this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, the World Baseball Classic was kind of born of like when I first got in the big leagues, that kind of how it kind of all came together. But seeing we had this idea of making the Olympics of baseball because we didn't have professionals playing in the Olympics. So he's like, let's just make our own. And was like, really? I'm like, yeah, we'll do it during spring training. I'm like, well, that's stupid because we're all trying to get ready. We're all trying to get ready for our seasons, you know. And they're like, how are we going to get insurance? And who's going to let these guys? Who in the right mind's going to let these guys go play in a situation like that? And it's been great for the fans. I don't pay attention too much of it at all. Just because it's like it's really cool. Or maybe I'll watch like the final. But it's also too like it's so exhausting. If USA like they won it that one year, I think they won it in San Diego or whatnot. But like it's exhausting. And then by the way, your regular season starts. Like oh man, like hockey. They've played the first half. They get 2 or 3 weeks off. Play the Olympics. All right, cool. Right back into it. Like this is the time, especially for veterans and pretty much everybody on that team, to make sure that they're seeing pitches, getting pitchers are locating the stuff. Hey, I'm going to throw this amount of pitches. I want to throw this amount of sliders because that's what they're working on to get ready for the season. And the guys that are there will not be able to do that. They're going to be trying to win a medal. They're trying to win the WBC. So I always thought, like, why don't you guys do this after the season? Like after the World Series, do it or something different where it's like, okay, if I'm a veteran like right now, like, is this going to help me get ready for the season? We all saw what happened to Trey Turner. He was unbelievable in the WBC, and then
he had
an awful first half, and we felt terrible for him. We were calling him Captain America because he was so good at the WBC. But that heartbeat's different. You play a spring training game right now. That heartbeat's a little bit different than what these guys are going to have with the USA on their chest and what they're trying to accomplish. It's like playing in the World Series before the season even starts. So I kind of just see it from that point of view, where it's like, that's tough. It's tough for other teams. It's tough for these guys to turn around and start their season. And I hope that they all do great. I hope no one gets hurt. I hope that the fans love it. I think it's cool to watch. But that's my thing. Is I just hope everybody's safe and everybody comes unscathed. I mean, the Mariners lost Diaz the last WBC celebration.
Yeah, on the celebration. Yeah.
Yeah, he blew out his knee, and they lost their closer. I'm sure the Mariners really like the WBC. They're like, yay, this is awesome. Oh wait, no, he was with the Mets. I'm sorry, he was with the Mets.
Yeah, I think he was with the Mets at that point. Yeah.
And the Mets were good that year too. Like they needed their guy. So yeah. But hopefully, like I said, everybody comes out unscathed and it all works out.
Well, Luke and I are major fans of the WBC and of Team USA. And all right, so I'm gonna paint the picture like this, okay? So I'm sure you heard the news about Scooble, right?
Yeah. Smart.
So my thing is, if he says no in November, like, guys, like, I won't feel like I'm ready, it's if it was in the middle of the season, sure, but like if he says what he said in November, I'm like, all right, it sucks, but whatever, Scooble's out. is the fact that it's like a week or two before the tournament. He's like, oh, actually, guys, I'm only making one start when we could have a double-A pitcher out there for that same game and we would still probably win. So, sorry about it. So
well,
it's like,
they knew that.
Why?
They knew that ahead of time. It just didn't get released.
You think so?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's. Hey, this is for me. Like, I'm only going to do one start. You guys okay with that? Yeah, we want you. You're the 2-time Cy Young winner, and for us not to have you is a bad thing. We'll cover your innings. We're good. I think they're just gonna hold him for whatever, whether it's the best pool play game or a quarterfinal that they need to win against a good team. Use him then and be done. And that's.
I was about to say,
they already announced his start.
Did they announce the start already?
It's going to be against Great Britain.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, I didn't know that. Why?
That's why I said we could have a double-A pitcher and still probably win that game.
Yeah.
You have me out there, you win that game.
and I think that's the kind of the terror of, do you know, because of what the Tigers have going, that team is a playoff team, and he's trying to win a World Series, and does he put that in jeopardy?
Right. He's also in a contract year,
we don't know that the Tigers aren't involved in that either. We don't know that they don't have a season.
I thought it was a Tigers move at first.
But I'm looking at the World Series compared to the WBC, and it's just now it's just a personal choice. Not saying he doesn't want to win for USA or anything, you know, but it's more the fact that it's like, okay, all of these guys have had these decisions they have to make, and he's just going to make the best decision for him and probably for his Detroit teammates. And it's just like, I'm just going to throw one because that's where I feel like I'm safe. So.
Nah, if I'm Scooble, I'm never pitching again for the Tigers. The amount of disrespect they showed him this offseason, I'd be like, screw you guys, I'm out of here. Yeah. So let me get this right. He is a 2-time back-to-back Cy Young winner. They're complaining about having to pay him $32 million. They try to offer him $19, and then Framber Valdez, which no disrespect to Framber, he's a good pitcher and whatnot. He ain't no Tarek Skubal, and they're like, sure, Framber, you can have $35 a year for 3 years. What the hell? If I'm Skubal, I'm pissed off. I'm like, dude, I run circles around this guy, and you're cool with paying him $35. Yeah, we got to go talk and sit in front of a third party about why I, the 2-time back-to-back Cy Young winner, deserve $3 million less than Framber Valdez. So if I'm Skubal, I'm like, nah, I'm pitching for Team USA.
Yeah, I mean, all good points. So the business of baseball and what goes on in those meetings and stuff like that, it's interesting. It's a different side that, you know, a lot of people don't know about. They're not easy. I mean, I had to walk Jacob through his off season and his negotiations and stuff like that on how that one was going to go. And it gets ugly. It's an ugly business sometimes when it comes down to what your agents are going to say that you're worth this, and they're going to say you're worth that, and you just get to battle over who's right and all that stuff. And it's tough. It's not fun, and it's, you know, and you, like you said, it doesn't really make sense, right? This guy is this, and then you give Valdez that. How would you even battle against this dude? Why would you want to piss him off and send him to arbitration? Like, why'd you want
literally?
But Scuba seems pretty, you know, about like he knows what's best for him and who he is. You know, this is the guy that went to Seattle University. He was not a big time name in the draft, so he knows who he is and he knows what his roots are. And I think, you know, Jacob says he's a great dude, so I think that's cool.
Oh yeah, Tarek's an absolute hoss. I've listened to him on a couple interviews, and he's an awesome dude.
Yeah. So I don't know. I know it'll be entertaining. It's fun for the fans because we just had Winter Olympics, and obviously what happened with Canada with men's and women's hockey. So to be bouncing right off of that, right into WC is like perfect time. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I think you're gonna see a lot of USA hockey jerseys at these games. That's my call. I think there's gonna be a lot of, you know, just because it's, you know, again, we get to root for USA, and then sure enough, we got the World Cup this summer. It's a good time to be an American. Although it might not work out in the World Cup, but still it'll be fun.
Close first. Cole, do you want to ask him about the Orioles?
Oh,
I think Cole's cutting out.
Yeah.
I think the next question that he was going to ask.
Yeah.
I was literally about to text you, Luke. Just ask your next question. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just ask it.
Go ahead,
I'll
Luke.
ask it for you, Cole. So our guy Cole here is a big Oriole fan. What are your thoughts on the Orioles this season? Are they going to be able to contend in that AL East, or, you know, is it going to be another year of maybe disappointment in Baltimore?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow Baltimore too much. And like I said, like if
Oh,
was
man.
I would follow nobody. But maybe the Pirates. Now I follow the A's, so I know everything about the A's. But like, I don't know.
Oh, I got some questions about the A's.
I think last year they tried to go cheaper on pitching, and it didn't didn't pan out. That was Baltimore probably went down as probably the team that should have been a playoff team because they were so close the year before. To not even come close. I mean, obviously, too, that's a nasty division. Like, again, we're talking about the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Red Sox. Like, they could be a great team and still not make the playoffs just because of the division they're in. So it's just tough. They moved the fences back, and now they moved them back in, which just like now we're just making stuff up. Like, all right, let's just change the dimensions. That'll help. Like, all right, the other hitters hit too. Okay, so it's. I like him just because I had Jackson Holliday with Team USA. Obviously, have Blaze, so I like Gunnar. I think Gunnar's a stud. I watched.
Oh yeah.
Their switch hitting catcher in college be an absolute dude in Oregon State. So it's just
my favorite player, Adley Rutschman. Yes, sir.
But I will say this though, getting Pete, that's huge. Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped.
That is a huge get, and he's gonna love hitting there. I mean, Met Stadium, Citibank is freaking big, and he's going to go to that place. He's going to hit a bunch of homers. So I like that sign for them for sure. I think once they get healthy, I think Blaze is going to have a great year for you guys. I think he is. He's really tough.
I believe it.
So I'm rooting for you. I root for you guys.
I appreciate that. So you said you know everything about the A's now. Now I have a question for you.
What?
All right. Well, all right. I'll start with an easy one.
Okay.
All right. Have you met John Fisher?
Yes.
Is he a good guy?
Yes.
Is he a good guy?
I do. I think he gets bad rap.
You can confirm he's a good dude.
Yes. He's great.
Because boy,
he takes. I'm going to say he's a great guy.
That's fair. That's fair. He takes it on the shins on the internet.
He flew to Vegas for his signing and to walk him around the stadium and stuff like that. He sat down and had lunch with us. He didn't have to do that.
That's fair.
He flew in for that purpose, and I honestly think that he does get a bad rap because all he wanted was a new stadium in Oakland. That's all he asked for, and he kept getting denied. He's like, well, if you guys keep denying me, I can find somebody to give me a new stadium. And they're like, we're not giving you a stadium. The Oakland Coliseum's fine. It's not. It's awful. It's terrible. It's old. And it's a football stadium. And I just want a baseball stadium. The Golden State Warriors got a gym. They got a new gym. Why can't I get a new stadium? Nope. All right. Who's going to do it? Vegas? Please. I mean, I don't blame the guy. You know how much money that guy's going to make when he moves to Vegas? Like, how many people are going to go to that brand new stadium on the Strip? Yeah. Like, you don't even need fans. You're just going to have people always there because it's the number one tourist, city in the United States. They're always going to have people at those games. Yeah. I was like, man, and on top of it, by the way, no state tax. You know how many free agents are going to want to come play for the A's and have no state tax off of their paychecks?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. They're going to be so good. They're going to be so good. Because they're going to have people that are going to – right now, you can't get anybody to come to Sacramento. They don't want to play in Sacramento. That's okay because they're going to want to come to Vegas. And it's going to be looked at as probably one of the best moves ever for as far as an owner taking their team because it's going to be a complete flip from what they had – why they all of a sudden spending money now? Because they know they're going to make a bunch. Mm-hmm. As soon as that thing opens, they're going to have no problem paying big-time salaries. Like, that place is going to be legit.
Because that was part of...
Yeah, because Oakland fans are awesome. When I played there, I always enjoyed. They're very passionate about their Raiders. They're very passionate about their athletics, and I respect them, and I see why they're so upset. At the same time, I was like, that owner just wants a new stadium. He's going to get a really nice one that's on the Strip. That's pretty cool.
I think it just looked really bad because he wasn't signing guys to big contracts. The A's were notoriously one of those teams that were like, oh no, he's in his second year of ARB. We got to ship him out. Right. So I think that's where the bad rap comes from is that the A's weren't really good. They were known for shipping guys out during arbitration. And then it comes out, boom, this guy wants a new stadium. And then boom, all these leaks come out about over the money negotiation. So He took it on the shins a lot on the internet, so I just had to ask if he was actually a good dude.
Yeah. No, I enjoy. He sat across from me in lunch, and we had good conversations. It's a guy, and I think he's just navigating what's best for the business that he owns. Just like any other business owner, he has an opportunity to go from here to there. I mean, it is a business. I think we see it as a sport, and we see it as fans, but it is a business. This is what they do. They have to, they have their employees. They're trying to make money. They're trying to do the best thing to grow their business, and that was what I think he felt he needed to do when he left the A's. So a lot of the time we don't want to see the business of baseball, to be honest with you. It's not something that we're interested in. We're not fans of the business of baseball. We don't like arbitration. It's not like we let's go live into the arbitration hearing and see what these guys are talking about on MLB Network. You know what I mean? So it's not a pretty part of the game. We just care about showing up, getting a hot dog, and watching some baseball and friggin' loving life. Like, that's all. That's what fans want to do. And follow their favorite players and buy their jerseys, and that's what it should be. But the other side of that, it's not like that. It's not. It's a business. He's running a business, so it's something we don't enjoy seeing. Obviously, with the CBA coming up, we're going to see a lot of coverage over the end of next season, going into what might happen, in the future with the collective bargaining agreement. So it's gonna rear its ugly head again.
Do you think there's going to be a lockout? Are we getting baseball in 2027, do you think?
I don't know. I think stuff, I'm just like anybody else, just listening to all the reports and stuff like that. And, one team is spending way more money than other teams, and how do you compete? We want competitive balance, all that stuff. I don't know. It just goes over my head. Like I said, I just play the game. But this is the stuff that reminds people that it is a business, and this is what has to happen in businesses. So unfortunately, everybody's going to have to go through it. We cross our fingers and hope for the best, and that we do have baseball next year. That's the plan. That's the hope. And hopefully that happens. Hopefully the two sides get to some sort of agreement and they can move forward, because I think baseball is doing really well right now.
Luke, Jordan, you guys got any questions?
Yeah. Go ahead, Jordan.
I was going to say, this is just a quick one. Tell us about the Savannah Banana experience really quick.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Those guys can play. I think people see the theatrical part of it. They're like, oh, it's not real baseball. I'm like, these guys, I spent 3 days with those guys. They're pretty darn good. I think that they just got to the point where they played pro ball, they played college, and they weren't going to be able to make it to the next level, but they're still very good. I saw some really nice. I saw 2 games there, and I saw some amazing plays. Very athletic, very talented players, and I enjoyed it immensely. I think it was a lot of fun to be a part of and a lot of fun to watch. And, the fans were going nuts. Like, it was a packed house at PNC both nights. It was pretty cool. So I enjoyed to see their prep on how they got ready for the day, how they rehearsed, all that stuff that goes into the product that the people see at night. So it's a pretty well-oiled machine. Like, they got it down. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. On you, Luke.
So speaking of PNC Park, I know you still follow the Pirates a decent bit. What are your thoughts on their 2026 season?
Oh, it's just everybody else is telling us how great Connor Griffin is. Like, that's that's it. When we talk about Pirate baseball, Connor was on our USA team. Could have been his junior year. He was our center fielder. He wasn't even a shortstop.
Right.
What?
Yeah, he's an outfielder.
Obviously a very talented shortstop, but he was, for that team, he was going to be the center fielder. Great kid. Obviously, just built like a professional athlete. That guy did. He looks like Cooper Flagg. Like, the guy's Cooper Flagg playing baseball. That's what he reminds me of. He looks like he's built to play the game, and I'm rooting for him, man. I'm scared that he'll start this season in the big leagues. I'd rather him start in AAA and then make it obvious.
Really?
Well, here's the thing. We did it with Kurtz. I say we because I'm an A. See? I can say
Touche.
I can say you can say Orioles. I can say we A's. Same thing with Kurtz. Kurtz had a great spring training. Hit 6 or 7 bombs. Really showed poise at the plate. I said to Jacob when they sent him down, and I'm like, that dude, just the way he takes the pitch, he was never off balance. He uses the whole field. I'm like, this dude's so strong, he's gonna accidentally hit 30 homers with you. He's just. And he's like, really? I'm like, dude, just watch how he handles himself. It didn't look like he should be number 87. Let's just say that. we know what 87 looks like. We know what 92 looks like when it's on their backs.
Yeah.
As the minor league non-invite, like the invite to big league camp, like, hey kid, let's
Right.
feet wet. He didn't look like that at all. Good defender. I was like, this guy's not too far off. So then he goes, yeah, we think he's not too far off. Let's just send him to AAA and see how he does. And he goes nuclear. Like the guy just keeps hitting homers. So they're like, okay, you can come up, you can come play with us. You're fine. I'd rather do that here because the one thing about Connor is never struggled. He's never had like a slump. The guy's just a dude his whole life. And that scares me for a 19-year-old kid because you put him in the big leagues now and there's this pressure of being a big leaguer. I think he's in the big leagues this year regardless, but I would rather, for me, we've seen situations like what happened with Campbell last year from the Red Sox. Not a day in the big leagues, it's a 5-year contract. Starts out pretty good, then the league kind of figures him out, and then he's in AAA the rest of the year. I'd rather do it the opposite. Hey, if we send him down to AAA and he makes it completely obvious that he's too good for that, then it's an easy decision. But if you put him up there and he struggles a little bit, now you got to deal with sending a guy down, which he won't have a problem with. Connor's a great dude. He's got great head and shoulders. He'll be fine. But I think it's just a better way to go. It has anything to do with money or Super 2, in arbitration, whatever. It has nothing to do with that, like we dealt with Chris Bryant. When Chris Bryant was with the Colorado Rockies, and they hit 12 homers in spring, and they sent him down for money purposes. But he went to 3 years of college. This kid's out of high school. He's 19 years old.
Yeah.
There's no rush. There's no rush. If he goes to AAA for a month and he absolutely goes berserk, it's a very easy decision. And he's doing really well. He's in his groove. He's got 100 at bats. Boom, easy to go in, not have to deal with opening day, not have to deal with all the hoopla that goes with that. That would be me. That's what I like. That's what I would love for the kid. But you know what? He can make opening day and go off too. Who knows? He is super talented, and I'm rooting for him. But I like the Asuna signing is good. Like they need bats. They need to score runs. Obviously, is it O'Hearn? Did they trade
Turn and burn, baby.
Turn and
O'Hearn.
burn,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
That's an old Oriole, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Right.
So I think they obviously know that their pitching staff. Jacob said that the 3 games he played, that was the best pitching staff that he faced, and that was going against the Mariners. So
Wow.
Yeah,
Big praise.
He said every arm that came in was electric, and he didn't even face Skeens. That was without Skeens.
Yeah, they didn't face Skeens. I think I was at the game when Bubba pitched during that series. That was like toward the end of the year.
Bubba needs some time in the minor leagues too.
You think You think so?
I think so. I think he needs to hone on the fact that you can't throw everything as hard as you possibly can. He's got such a great arm. Another high school guy. But he's come up, he's shown promise, but I think he needs, if you want him to be a starter, he's got to go down and start. And he's got to, because last year he was a reliever, and they kind of spot started him. But if you're going to put him on the same kind of wave as Jared Jones was, because Jared Jones was a high schooler, and they kind of brought him along, and he learned how to pitch. He was a power guy, but he learned how to pitch. He learned how to use his stuff. I think Bubba has to do the same thing. I think it's all like hard. And Jacob said by far he was the easiest one to hit out of the group because it's like you're going straight, there's narrow, 4-seam fastball. It's hard, but everybody throws hard, so who cares? But a little more touch and feel with his off-speed stuff, But he's a super talent. That's why I'm saying the future's bright. Just you got the small window with Skeens. You got to win while he's here.
Yeah.
No guarantee he's going to be around that long.
Luke and I went to the Orioles versus the A's. What was it? That was last year, right, Luke? And we saw.
Yeah, that was like August last year.
Kurtz,
Yeah.
And dude, he looked like the real deal, like in person. Like every ball he hit, I think he went like 1 for 3 or 1 for 4 or something like that. But like it was all like 100 plus off the bat every at bat. He just happened to hit it right to somebody.
He's special. He's a great kid, great family. Not much to his swing. Very simple. He's just a big donkey dude that just hit. You know what he is? He's like a better version of Adam Dunn.
Oh, good comp, yeah.
Like if you took Adam Dunn and had him hitting 290 plus, that would be when they did.
Wow.
But he's a plus defender at first too. But I remember Adam Dunn just being that guy that can lead the yard at any time. But like he was always going to hit 220, 230, but still hit you 40. I think Kurtz hits 50 this year. I think he hits 50.
Wow.
If you're playing in Sacramento, you're playing in Houston, that guy, there's not. And the thing is about Nick, he doesn't need to pull the ball to hit a home run. He hits into all fields. So where do you throw him? You throw him soft, he pulls a homer. You throw him hard, he flips one to left field. And especially playing in Sacramento, he's gonna. That's my like take. Can't throw a flag on this because it's gonna happen. He's gonna hit 50 homers, dude. It's gonna be awesome. Man.
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it. Hey, Cole, we have our fantasy baseball draft coming up, so I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, me too.
Be a good idea to take.
I'm gonna draft Jacob just for you.
Jacob. Jacob's a good player.
So the A's, they have the lineup. That has not been the issue the past like multiple years. I mean, Rooker, Lawrence Butler, Jacob, Kurtz, Soderstrom, Langoliers, like they have the sticks, but then they just don't have the arms. I know they paid Severino, but they like traded Mason Miller, so it's like, how are the A's gonna get the right arms to make this a playoff team?
In Vegas.
Okay.
By Vegas.
So we're still a couple years out.
I think they make a big splash this year. My worry is Shea Langoliers. I think he's one of the most underrated players in baseball. The guy hits 30 home runs as a catcher. No one talks about him. Like, he's super underrated in that lineup. He hits leadoff. He hits second. He hit a bomb and a 2-run home run today and a 2-run double today. The guy is just awesome. He's consistent. No one talks about him. He's got arbitration. Maybe he's arbitration eligible next year or whatever it is. I'm afraid about.
Is he one of the ones that got an extension?
He did not. I think they were interested in doing it with him, but I think, I don't know if the numbers matched up or whatnot. But I think Gage Jump is going to be somebody that you're going to keep an eye on. Gage Jump, UCLA, then he went to LSU, 3rd-round pick. He is electric. 97-98 from the left side. Struck out 5 of 6 today against the Reds in a 2-8 relief. Absolutely tore through the minor leagues last year. He's gonna make his big league debut this year as a starter. He is disgusting.
And what's his name again?
Watch this video. Gage Jump is very funky lefty.
Gage Jump.
And he sits 96-98 today. And with a banger and a changeup. He struck out 5 guys easy. And it was dotted fastballs. He's very good. And then, obviously, the number 1 pick that we had last year from Florida State, I'm blanking on his name right now, left-handed pitcher, Arnold.
Okay, yeah.
He will be there this year. That's how good Jacob says he is. He says when he faces him in live, he's like, this guy's a big leaguer right now. So you have 2 left-handed, top-line young arms coming at some point this year. As long as they go to the minor leagues and do their thing, Gage Jump will have a start within the first couple months with Arnold right after him, and then you got 2 young lefties, plus Severino, plus whoever else you want. I love JT Ginn, big sinker guy, depending on how he does. So I think this year you're going to have some bumps in the road with your bullpen like you did last year, maybe, but I think it's going to be better than last year's team. And then going forward, if those 2 lefties do what they do, that rotation is going to be quite good come this time next year. I think we're talking about a complete team, both defensively, pitching staff, and obviously, bats. It's going to be a really good team. But those 2 lefties, keep an eye on. If you guys need some 16th, 17th round picks, those 2 guys you want.
Okay. Yeah.
Some stash, yeah.
Gage Jump. Gage will be first, and then Arnold. But those guys are electric. They're electric.
Yeah, because right now we haven't done our MLB preview yet for the upcoming season where we do like the over/under for all the win totals. Okay. I think the A's are going to be one of those teams that they're above 500, but they're like the 8th team or the 19th in the conference. Like they just missed the playoffs because I think it's the Mariners' division to lose.
I think it's an escalator of where they started 2 years ago, and they're just getting better, and they're getting the young guys to come up. They're gonna, I think that they're gonna be over 500 going in, and they're gonna get some momentum going with these young guys. These guys are all 22, 23 years old. Like they're all playing together. So you're going to have this squad that you're molding that are all just like experiencing life and your first time in the big leagues, and then Langoliers and Rookers kind of holding down like the leadership roles and captains of the team. So I think it's going to be a steady rise, and I think playoffs, deep in the playoffs in 2028. That's my call. We have to go back in the archives for this video when we get to 2028.
Oh yeah, we'll clip that one.
I keep all original copies on a hard drive. Trust me, we'll have it.
We'll also say that Kevin McGonigal is going to win the Rookie of the Year in the American League this year. We'll go with Kevin. And then,
what about NL Rookie of the Year? Is there going to be our guy Connor?
The kid from Cincinnati is really good. He got called up last year.
Chase Burns.
No, not the pitcher. He's Sal.
Oh,
Big right-handed.
For the Reds?
Yeah, for the Reds. He came up
the
last
Reds.
year. Yeah, he's pretty good. I'm blanking on his name.
I know who you're talking about. I just forget his name.
Yeah.
There's a lot of young players to look out for. I think Kevin McGonigal is one of the best young players I'd ever coached at that age. I mean,
Everyone's sleeping on Samuel Basayo and Dylan Beavers. I'm just saying.
I know, and you know who I do like though. I do like Carson Bench for the Mets, for the National League.
Okay.
Yeah, here's the thing: when you come, no one would have said Nick Kurtz last year. No one probably would have said Jacob either. Everybody was on Jackson Jobe. There's always these names, and then you gotta then someone will cut him out of nowhere and be like, "Whoa, who's this guy?" Rookie of the year is always hard. I have a history with Kevin McGonigal. I saw him play. He was our USA national team second hole hitter and second baseman, and I thought he was the best left-handed bat, one of the best I'd ever seen. Period, from the left side. Like his knowledge of understanding how to hit, and the fact that he's rise so fast is not a surprise. Whether the Detroit goes with him out of spring training or not, I know he's killing it right now, but he is some kind of special. Like he's a really good player. So. And I like Connor Griffin too. I think whether he starts up or comes up, I think he's going to do some damage. He's obviously got amazing power. He's a very good fielder. He only had like 9 or 10 errors last year in the minor leagues at short. That's incredible.
Right.
In the minor leagues, those fields aren't great. So
Yeah.
to really have 8 or 9, and the flexibility of throwing him in the outfield if you wanted to, because which you can if you wanted to. Like the guy's a stud. The guy's an absolute freak. So I'm rooting for him as well. But you always got to root for young guys and hope that they get up there and succeed. But those are my picks. My guys.
All right, Luke, you got a final question for Jack?
Yeah, final question, kind of a fun question. So, in all of the MLB currently, is there one player that reminds you the most of yourself when you were playing?
No. Everything, dude. It's not like honestly too. I can't even answer this because it's like I don't watch enough of other teams and stuff like that. The only way I see them is if I'm watching the A's play against them, in a sense. The only thing I could probably say is probably J.P. Crawford from the Mariners. Maybe.
Okay.
Just a right-handed hitting version of J.P. was probably me. But guy, really good defender, and to definitely throw the bat out there and get some hits in situations and hit some doubles and pop a few out. He probably has more power than I did. I don't know. Yeah, he would probably be the one guy that I could say I've seen enough to where
JP.
Okay, defensive-minded guy, but he could do some damage when every now and then. So that would be the guy probably that I would pick up.
Nice.
All right, well, Jack, we're very, very appreciative of your time. This has been an absolute blast, and it has been so surreal for all of us to have you on the podcast.
So
we're
much.
extremely grateful, and we would love to have you back on at some point again if you're willing to come on. But we're extremely grateful. And do you have anything left to say to the people before we get out of here?
No, man. Enjoy the WBC. Enjoy the baseball season, man. I think it's gonna be a good one. And last year we had a great World Series, and hopefully we'll have another one. So enjoy the season. And I'm happy. I'm happy to be on this. So thanks for having me.
All right, well, Jack, thank you so much. And flag throwers, you know how we end this.
We're not going to apologize for winning.
No, we are not. We will see y'all next week. See ya.